For the last couple of weeks, I've been diving in to deepening your intimacy with yourself and with your spouse. And we're talking about something that I hadn't heard about until maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And is deeper vaginal orgasms. And now I've gotten several questions from people saying, can you talk to us about how technique, how you achieve these things, and instead of just the stories of how that has transformed our marriage, our relationship, my husband and mine, and how it has transformed me as a person. So today we are going to talk all about the details. So if you have been wondering how you can achieve these deeper vaginal orgasms to create more space, more creativity, more peace in your inner system, and deeper connection in your romantic life with your husband or guy, this is for you. First off, to be able to achieve all of these things, we have to work on ourselves. Our brain is our largest sexual organ. So with that, I've taken some notes, so I will be referencing. It really is all about the brain-body connection and healing and rewiring our sexual system and our heart. So how do we do those things? Girls, we do know, you know, that our brain is where the orgasms are created, basically. But that is not to say that there is not a very, very important connection to our genitals. What we have done as women oftentimes is we have cut ourselves off at the neck, and everything is cerebral, and we are not embodied. We have to get connected with our bodies, and that is step one. And I just want to pause and say how grateful I am to be able to share this information with you, because to me, it is pretty fundamental to who you are as a woman, to be able to know that your body functions this way, this beautiful, glorious way, and that it is available to you. So I think I should probably back up and say why it matters to have these deeper vaginal orgasms. What am I talking about? So I was fortunate enough to get to do one of Kim Anami's courses, and I will have her linked in the show notes. But with that and listening to she's got podcasts, they're all free. I highly encourage you to dive deep and listen to them, expose yourself to this information, because she has a lot of information available just for you to have. And it helped me to realize that there was a wealth of energy, pleasure, possibilities that is internal, that is within us. We are born this way. And it's to me, there's nothing woo-woo. It truly is biological. And yet it creates a lot of things that results that you might think are kind of on the woo-woo side, because you have like a deeper connection to spirit, to God, to your sense of self. You have these kind of cosmic experiences through sex, through your orgasms, through these things, because these orgasms are a totally different thing than what we are generally taught as women are, like our clitoral orgasms, which are really fun. I'm not going to say they're not, but if you were like me and you thought that's all there was, we're going to dive deep and give you very practical information on how to actually experience these bigger and deeper ones. Now, this is an overview. This is a introduction. This is a taste of the thing, of what they are. They do require some work in getting them done and in reconnecting and rewiring our brains. We're going to get into that. But oh my gosh, being able to, from not being able to have this type of intimacy with myself and with my husband, to now what I am experiencing it's next level. It's more than next level. It's all so many more levels, and it can keep increasing and building. And you need to have this info. So, okay, so that's why. What it has done for me and what I know it has done for other women is it has increased creativity, peace, bitchiness, like nagginess, all the kind of stuff just blows it all away. And it has increased the depth of connection that I've been able to have with my husband. Um, it has redone entirely my connection to myself. And one of the lies that we have been fed is that our sexuality as women is wrong and dangerous, that it is only meant for reproduction, or even the lie of as a woman, I'm going to use it casually as men do, and that empowers me. None of those things are, I mean, it's true, it's also useful for reproduction, but the point is that it is a very powerful tool that we have in our biology that really we should have it's an extra energy pack that we never knew we had. It stabilizes us. It's just there's so many benefits. It's amazing. And I know for me, one of the greatest things it does for me is it when my husband and I are able to connect on this deeper level of intimacy and connection together. After a session together, it's like, what, honey, what can I do for you? What I am so willing to just like to follow him. I feel like he has shown up and he has given me everything that I need. And I'm just, okay, whatever. I am delighted. I'm humming. I'm floating through my day. And I think all women deserve to have that and experience that. And it's not to say, oh, now what I want doesn't matter. Or, it's not that at all. He prioritizes me and my pleasure. And when that happens and he shows up and he offers me containment and he gives me that strength that I need so that I can melt and surrender, because that's the heart of it, is surrender. That is when we as women can unlock and just come right into our femininity, into our flow. And that is power and gorgeousness. It's so gorgeous within you. So that is why I think you should learn all about this. So now let's get into it. So what we have to do at first is we have to create new meaning, new neural pathways, and we have to retrain our pleasure. What does that mean? Okay, so first of all, our dynamic with ourselves, with our sexual pleasure, and our bodies, we have lots of crap layered on top of that, don't we? And it's time to clean house. It's time to get that all cleaned up. That does take time, but it also requires presence. We have to take time to be with ourselves and to create new meaning to pleasure and touch, all of that. And so with that, I think it's important to come up with a mantra of like, I embrace my pleasure. I love myself. My body is worthy of pleasure, whatever that works for you. But you have to keep showing up for yourself. This is all your homework. This is all you to do in rewiring your brain from whatever the messages have been before, whether it's that maybe the only way that you were able to reach orgasm is through fantasy and imagining different scenarios, different people or whatnot. I want to challenge you and also tell you how by being able to take that away and simply be present with yourself, with your own body and the sensations within it, and having that be the orgasmic stimulation for you, that's all you need. It's so freeing and it feels so honoring to ourselves, and it's honoring to your relationship with your partner. That instead of having to pretend some scenario or some other people or whatever it is, and go into, your mind is going away from connection in that point. And that, to me, I think that's dangerous. That's dangerous for yourself and your partner. I understand it's fun. You can think of all sorts of weird things, sure. But what was really helpful was that challenge that was given to me to stay present with myself and with my partner. And in that, when we go into our pleasure from that place, we really are able to meet ourselves in a way we've never met ourselves before. It's very vulnerable. It can feel very exposing, and it is. And when you can get that honest with yourself and with your partner, with your man, that is where the depth of connection stems from. That's where it all begins. We have to be able to be bare, fully naked in our souls, in ourselves, be open and vulnerable, and then surrender in that. That sounds frightening sometimes. That sounds kind of dangerous. And it is, because we are putting our trust in someone else, or we are trusting in the universe in that I'm going to be held, I'm going to be safe, and it's okay for me to be all of who I am. It's a beautiful, beautiful, like mind exploding kind of a thing to be able to have that. So first, you have to do that with yourself. That's going to require time for you to be with yourself. You're going to have to make it a meditative practice to explore your body, to go inward, to go deep. And as you do that, as you self-pleasure in this meditative state, this place of connecting and loving and accepting yourself, because here's the thing, I know from my experience, and I'm pretty sure this might resonate for you, is that if I am seeking all of my validation from him, I'm never going to feel validated. And it's not because he's not doing his best or doing a great job at it. It's because that's not whose validation I need. I need myself. I need to love me first before I can even truly accept his love. His love, when it comes to me, it's like I'm throwing it in the wastebasket if I don't already have that love for myself. So that is why it's so important for us as women to start with us first. Guys too. I mean, they need to go through this process as well. So I encourage, if there's any guys listening to it, this is homework for you too. It is rewiring your pleasure neural pathways, your mind-body connection, what stimulation actually is creating the orgasm. And it's stripping away all of the extra crap, all of the extra things. You are not using, as girls, we're not using our vibrators. You can go ahead and hard pass on them, because you want to organically know your body needs to be able to respond to real human stimulation. It's just like if a guy, the only way that he could come to orgasm is by watching pornography, then doesn't that seem kind of unnatural? Doesn't that seem like, as a human being, you got the short end of the stick? Because you're not getting this is a human experience, not a technology or a technological experience. So put the battery activated thingy away. It's a manual. And yeah, don't worry, because the more that you go into it, the more you are going to retrain yourself, and the more pleasure that you are going to get, the more organic. It's just like if you grew up eating from gas stations and that's all you ever knew was gas station food. And someone said, actually, there's a thing called a grocery store, and they have fresh grown food and all different kinds of things. You're like, are you kidding me? a meal prepared from fresh foods compared to what you can get packaged at a gas station, there isn't really a comparison. Well, just crappy and great. So I hope you want great too, because I decided to go for that and I can't ever go back to the gas station in that sense. Okay, so retraining ourselves. It takes time. You have to be dedicated to the practice. A mantra is very helpful because if you are doing the work and you're thinking, this isn't going to work, this is stupid, this is dumb, I'm wasting my time, this is gross, this is wrong, whatever it is, well, you're going to be right. So switch it up, change it. How do you want to feel about it? What are your beliefs? What do you want to believe about it? I love this. I love this part about beliefs because it means we get to create them. We don't have to take our family's hand-me-downs or culture's hand-me-downs. We get to choose. So there's that. Let's see. I do also want to acknowledge that a lot of women have trauma, sexual trauma, and that might need a little assistance. And I don't want you to be afraid to get the help that you need to work through the healing process, because connecting with your body when you have cut yourself off because it's not safe to be connected with my body, or it's wrong and I can't experience pleasure in a natural, abundant, free-flowing, organic way, well, that you might need a little help with that. And I encourage you to seek that out. There are lots of different healing modalities that can help with that. But I think one of the biggest ones is simply choosing your beliefs. What story do you want to believe about yourself? Okay, like I said, this is just an overview and a taste. This is not an in-depth workshop or anything like that. Let's see. And one of the most powerful things that you can do is believe that experiencing these deeper vaginal orgasms is for you, that it is possible. If you believe it, you can achieve it. All right. So technically, when we're talking about the body, so we've kind of talked about the mind. Now we're actually going to talk about the body and the process. So what has happened is, again, with our vaginas, that there are so many feeling sensors inside. It's amazing. But what has happened is we have become numb, that we can't feel anything anymore or ever could for various reasons. Atrophy, not utilizing them, mentally saying, no, not even, but also just not even knowing that it could do something. So like any muscle that you haven't really used before, it's going to take some exercise to get it up and going. Now, it's not just about strengthening the muscles in the vagina. It is also about increasing blood flow. And that is why these various exercises, yeah, you get to do a workout down there. That's why they are so helpful in creating the sensation, waking it up down there. So Kim recommends using the jade egg and doing a jade egg practice. And I will have jade eggs linked below, but she also offers a course that you can take if you want to have her direction in how to utilize it. But I will give you the basics. And it's basically what it's doing is it's giving resistance by inserting the jade egg. So a jade egg is actually an egg-shaped piece of jade that is polished and clean and whatnot. Has a hole drilled in the top, like the smaller top part, that you can insert a string of any kind that you wish, and that for retrieval purposes. And basically it gives you that hard object, and that particular shape is useful in helping you to learn how to articulate the vagina. Yes, you can. Yes, you can strengthen your vagina so much that you will be able to squeeze and articulate as your man is inside you. You will be able to give him, as Kim refers to it, as a vaginal hand job. it's pretty fun and pretty funny when you begin being able to squeeze, and you can again, you can articulate. And so I love about the exercises that she showed was that you can say, I want to squeeze in the middle section. I want to squeeze just on the right side. And then I can do the top left, and you can just like make a wave or however you want to. You can do that inside of you. Wow. And that's not just for special people with magical vaginas. All vaginas can do it. So that's really exciting to learn that. It just takes time in the gym. So so making that a practice, and it doesn't take long. It takes maybe 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day of using a jade egg and practicing squeezing it in different sections, and just squeeze and hold for a couple seconds and let go. Something else that's really important is your breathing in it. Okay, so with it, let's say we're going to do a set for the jade egg exercises. So you have that inserted and into the vagina, and then you're going to breathe in. And then on the exhale, you're going to squeeze for the count of 5. And then release. And then inhale again. Relaxed. And then on the exhale, you will squeeze from the other count of 5. And so you can do sets of that. So it's up to you. You can experiment. You can play around. You might even find some other instruction on YouTube or other places for how to do certain sets and reps and whatever you want to do to articulate it. But basically what you're doing through that, by adding a hard object, it creates resistance. So push that the muscle pushes against, where before Kegels are just pushing against air and nothing. And Kim likes to say that it's as if you were doing that. This is going to make your bicep big by flexing your arm and with no resistance at all, just moving your arm up and down in a bicep curl. You're not going to increase your strength there. So you have something, you put a weight in it. Now there's resistance. So you insert the jade egg, and you could use if you're like, hey, I just want to get started now. I don't want to order an egg. You can insert your fingers, do 2 fingers, and that you'll actually be able to feel it against your fingers, and you'll be able to then move the fingers to whatever position that you want to. You want to do the close to the entrance as one location, more in the middle for a second location, and third right up by the cervix. And so that way you have all of the vaginal walls on all the levels that are getting work done. So that's a basic jade egg practice. You can also practice on your partner as you are having intercourse, and that's fun if he's willing to be patient and just hang out there for a while. So then now let's go ahead and talk about, so by doing these exercises and increasing articulation and increasing blood flow, you're also going to experience more natural lubrication. You are going to be wetter. You are increasing. So here's the thing. It's like if you are frozen like this, your blood, everything's tight and the blood's not flowing loosely. If you're moving, you're dancing, wonderful, then blood is flowing everywhere. You're warm, you're relaxed, you can move. But if, like most of our vaginas, we are tight and frozen, then we are also not going to be naturally lubricating as well because it's not safe. That's also, I love the German New Medicine perspective as well, is when we do not feel safe in our territory, because our sexuality is our territory as women, that our reproductive system is the heart of our sense of security. If we don't feel safe with our man, if we don't feel safe in our location, if we don't feel safe in the world, whatever it is, we are going to turn off that reproductive functioning as as much as it normally naturally would be. That's going to shut down, raise our testosterone, lower our progesterone, and because it's not a safe place to bring a child into the world, even though you may not even be interested in having a child at the moment. It's what the body, because it is a natural organic functioning thing based on a very, very old system and brain, that's how your body responds. And so a lot of women, I think they say, "Oh, well, I'm just of a certain age. I don't lubricate naturally anymore." I say, I would like to challenge you to see what is your perspective on your sense of what your role is in the world, what your sense of safety is, what your relationship with your partner is, your man. Like, do you feel like he is showing up and that you can trust and relax and release and surrender in that relationship? If you don't feel that way, if you don't feel that way, then your hormones are going to be out of balance. That has been my personal experience, and that is what I have seen in the world. So, um, along with that, when we are feeling open and safe in our bodies, in our reproductive system, our body is going to wake up, and our lubrication is going to wake up as well, and we will be deliciously wet. So that is another added benefit to doing this work, because it is restructuring our belief system with our body. We are getting the two synced up, safe, so that then you can surrender into these beautiful orgasms. Let's move on. Let us talk about the G spot orgasm. So, what does it feel like? And then we will talk about the location and technique. Okay, a G spot orgasm, from my personal experience and from what I have also heard from other women saying the same things, is that it's an internal, it's an orgasm that comes from the inside of the vagina. It's kind of in the middle part. Again, we'll talk about that in a second. But the way that it feels is it creates this sense of fullness. You almost have like a pushing sensation. It's often described as like if you feel like you're about to pee and you're afraid of peeing, push through that fear and go for it, because you're not going to pee. You may have some female ejaculate. This is not a myth. This is not a mythical thing. This is a real thing. And that is totally normal, especially with the G-spot orgasm, specifically with the G-spot orgasm. You can separate ejaculation from G-spot, but I don't know how to do it. It's pretty much all the same to me. And in that, so you experience the sense of fullness, and then you might have some fluid release. And the sensation is this beautiful wave feeling inside. I also know that when that area is turned on, it's kind of like your vagina is hungry for your man's cock, and you just can't get enough. And it's absolutely utterly delicious. So the pleasure is so fantastic. And yeah, oh, I love that this is available to all of us girls. So that to me, oftentimes they're accompanied by laughing, or you might even have, like, there's a lot of different emotions that can come out during these times, because there is a massive release. It's stimulating so much. We are very complicated beings. Women, we store a lot of our emotions and feelings in our vaginas, in our genitals. And so this is another reason why these deeper orgasms are so helpful in clearing crap out of us, that from having a beautiful deep session with your man can do more than 10 years of talk therapy. I mean, than a lifetime of talk therapy. It just obliterates all the crap and the walls and the garbage. It is incredibly healing. This is why it's like, why don't we know this stuff? Why are we not taught this? And also, I feel strongly that there should not be massive financial gatekeepers to this information as well, which is why it's free right here on this podcast. Is you got to know. You got to know that this is for you, and you can experience this. And it's not for sex freaks or fiends or kinky stuff. It is for every woman should be able to experience the sense of peace, release, and utter pleasure that is theirs. Okay, now you got it. I can stop talking about that part. Okay. So those are kind of the hallmarks of a G-spot orgasm. So I'm sure if you haven't experienced this, you probably want to. So how do you do it? Well, so you've been doing the work, you've been rewiring your brain and your body, you've been opening yourself up, you are creating new pleasure pathways. And now, and you've been articulating the vagina, getting it stronger. Um, Now, where it is in the body, if you are laying down, if you're laying down that way, then it is just a few, like 2 inches up inside the vagina. If you insert two fingers this way, so this is your body, your head's that direction. So inserting two fingers with them curled upwards facing the ceiling. So that's where your belly is. Um, then you should be able to feel kind of a ridged area, almost like the roof of your mouth. And that is the location of the G spot. I highly encourage you to have short nails if you are doing this for yourself. Two fingers, whichever two fingers you find most pleasurable, can give it. And honestly, so you're going to be doing kind of like a come hither, is how Kim describes it, motion. So pulling this direction and stroking it that way. And you can actually give quite a bit of pull. Like it can take a lot of pressure and to get it going. So it almost like milking in a way. I mean, not like squeeze milk, but the way that it's doing it. Then if you're a guy and you noticed in your woman that she starts to have increased fullness inside of her vagina, you're doing a good thing. She's getting more warmed up. It is creating, it's amazing how the vagina changes when you have done all of this work and this articulation, this increase of sensitivity and circulation, that now like it shifts the way that it responds in pleasure. It's like a blossoming. It really, really is. And so by this motion, guys, you can go to town. Go to town. That girls, you can do that for yourself as well. You can also use if you have a dildo. I love. There's like a glass one that is small. It's specifically designed for the G spot, and it has. I personally, I don't like anything that has ridges on it. I know I'm getting like, let's get real detailed here, but I think that if it's just smooth and I like glass. It's not plastic latex crap. And there are lots of different tools you can find that on various locations on the internet to find this. But a G-spot tool works really well, especially if like your hands aren't super strong and you know, because it requires time and you need to allow yourself that. And you have to relax and surrender in that moment. And that's a huge part of these vaginal orgasms is surrender, because if you're tight, you're fighting it. And these only come when you are just open. So that's the beauty and the challenge of it at the same time. But you can do it. You totally can. All right. So that's the G spot. Now, up level, the next is the cervical orgasm. And these can be these are a little more challenging to come by, I think. And oftentimes I believe that they are achieved through some of the deepest surrender that we can do. So if you were to go in order of orgasms, like a warm-up would be the clitoris, the kind of, I don't know if you call it a main course, but like next level is of obviously the G spot, especially even in the hierarchy of the vagina, the territory of itself, and then the cervical, which is going to be the deepest. So what it's doing is it's basically the tip of the penis is stimulating the tip of the cervix, and that repetitive connection is what stimulates the cervical orgasm. Now, if your cervix is super sensitive, I know that can change throughout your cycle, but it's for a reason. The reason that it's sensitive. And I believe that it goes deeper than simple, like, well, during your cycle, this just happens. I think that it has more to do with where we are at. Again, it's a brain-body connection and the sensitivity of the cervix. I know that from doing this work, what used to be so sensitive and I would push away from, and which is again causing restriction and tension, and you don't want that for these. you have to go into this beautiful state of surrender. And that doesn't mean that you just have to get pounded and it has to hurt and you have to cry and all that. That's not it. But it is to say that as your man gently helps you get to places of release, that sensitivity will be lightened and it won't be as tender, from my experience. Now, I can't say it for everybody, but I truly believe that that is kind of how it happens. So it requires time. Generally, the longer of a love session, a love making session that you have, the more you are able to get closer to those cervical orgasms. And but I think that also just has to do with the mental state that you have. I know Kim has shared stories how women who have had hysterectomies and they don't even have cervix anymore, they don't have uteruses, are still able to have cervical orgasms because of the memory that is left in there in the body of the cervix. So let's talk about I kind of jumped ahead and talked about how to do them. And that's basically it. There are different positions that can work better. You can try missionary, you can try with the girls, with your legs up and elevated kind of on him so that he can get deeper and closer to the cervix. You can do doggy style, and that is right there. It puts you in that position as well. And let's see. It's kind of okay. Let's talk about what is it like? What is a cervical orgasm like? Clitoral orgasms are far more intense. It's pinpointed to one direct location. And then as you get to the deeper vaginal orgasms, they get to be more general until like the cervical it's almost your entire body. And it can be almost ephemeral. You can't say like, yeah, I felt it right here and it did this thing and whatnot, but it just kind of takes over this energy takes over your body. And it's like it busts down all of the brick walls that you have. And it opens, this is during these types of orgasms are when you have the cervical, is when you have the deepest emotional releases. They often, like the hallmark of a cervical orgasm is crying. And I know that may not sound super romantic, but it is so powerful. Oh my gosh. You may not even know what you're crying about. It doesn't even matter. It's just catharsis, really. It's deep healing of stuff that is in your subconscious. You can be crying for joy. You can be crying because your heart has been broken years ago. You can be crying for, I don't even know what. I can't even tell you, but you generally are crying. And your man gets to be a man and say, I am still here with you. I am here. It's helpful if you just tell him like, it's good. I'm good. I'm good. Oh, this is fine. But even just letting you be in that, and he can keep going. You can keep going through that opening and that breakthrough that you're going through. It's so beautiful. I have to say, I had heard lots of testimonies from women who had done this work, and they're talking about like, well, what's your all-time highs of orgasms? And not that it's a competition at all, but I think it's important to note like, well, what's possible? And I know for me, I lost track of how many G spots. It was at least 30 or more, and 5 cervical orgasms in one session together. And like that to me is happy birthday. That's all I want from a birthday. Honey. Says, and it requires time. You have to dedicate and set aside time to do this. And it's kind of the best time spent ever because of what it does to your internal life, to your external life, how it rewires your nervous system. It's the ultimate reset. So that's basically the ins and outs for what where they are, what they feel like, what they do, and how to achieve them. So that's a short synopsis of it. If you have any questions or there's anything that you want to go deeper into, if you will, feel free to shoot me an email at wholewomanawakening@gmail.com. Also, subscribe to my Substack. It's at wholewomanawakening.com. You can find me there. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. I hope this was helpful. Feel free to comment, and I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe and share this with a girl who needs to know that this stuff is real and it's for her. And she needs it in her life because every woman should know. Thanks for being with me. Before you go, if this episode spoke to you, I would love to stay connected with you in a deeper way. You can head to wholewomanawakening.com and join my email list. And I'll send you a free little gift with some simple, free, or inexpensive ways to care for yourself and come back to who you are. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed here so you don't miss what's coming next. All right, I'll meet you back here soon. Thanks for joining me.